Okay, so now we are solving geometry problem. The problem reads, in an isosceles right triangle, the hypotenuse is 42 centimeters. Find the altitude from the vertex of the right angle. So this is the diagram drawn by ChatGPT, and this is an isosceles triangle where the legs AC equals, where the legs are equal, AC equals to BC. And from the vertex of right angle, so angle C is 90 degrees. So from this vertex, there is an altitude, CD. Okay. Let's try to solve this problem with different ChatGPT tools, 3.5, 4, Wolfram Assistant, and also I'll show you plugin Wolfram as it's still operational until April 9th. I will just open one of my previous conversations because, as you remember, after March 19th you cannot access plugins anymore. However, if you have them in some previous conversations, then you can go back to these conversations, open them, and use the plugin there. So fortunately, I have such kind of conversations. I will go there, I will open plugin Wolfram and show you how it actually works. It's just 1 week left. Okay. Let's start from GPT 3.5 model. I will paste the problem situation here. So according to GPT 3.5, h equals 14 times square root of 3. Interesting. Let's check this solution. Pythagorean theorem. Okay. This is hypotenuse squared. Okay, so the leg is x and the altitude is h. And the legs are cathetes actually. So no. The Pythagorean theorem here is wrong. Because if we go to this diagram, so x is the leg, and GPT 3.5 says x squared plus h squared. So this one plus this one squared equals to hypotenuse squared, this one. This is wrong. So GPT 3.5 uses Pythagorean theorem in the wrong way. That's why it's doesn't make any sense to check the solution further, because the answer is obviously wrong. So that was GPT 3.5 and unfortunately it failed. Let's go to GPT-4 version. I'll select 4. Okay, again Pythagorean theorem, and now it's analyzing. The length of each leg is 29.7 and the altitude from the vertex is 25.72. It doesn't look like a right solution. But the Pythagorean theorem here is correct. So this is 2 legs and this is hypotenuse, that's right. Now you can find the leg. No, it's not 30, 60, 90 right triangle. No, it's wrong. No, it's wrong. What is the angle actually here? This is 45 degrees and this is 45 degrees. Because this is isosceles triangle, so with equal legs. And that's why both of angles are also equal here. So they should be 45 and nothing else. Okay. So we see that GPT-4 also failed this task. However, I can point its mistake and say, you are wrong. This is not 30, 60, 90, but 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, you're correct. I appreciate your patience. Good. It's polite. Network error. Regenerate. Now it says my apologies for the confusion. So ChatGPT is very polite. Okay. Okay, now therefore the altitude approximately 29.7, the same as the length of the legs. No, that's wrong. It's impossible. No, altitude cannot be the same as the legs. That means that in this figure actually this length is the same as this one, and it's obviously not. Alright, I won't ask it any questions anymore. Let's go to Wolfram Assistant and see what it will say. Let's go to GPTs. Wolfram. Control V. And let's see. Allow. It ran into an issue. Basic principles, and it's the same solution as GPT-4 offered. No, not exactly the same, no. And for some reason it's calculating the area, why? But hey, finally it came up with correct answer. Therefore the altitude with a hypotenuse of 42 centimeters is 21. And that's actually correct answer, yes. But I'm curious about its solution. So A is the leg and C is the hypotenuse, right? The altitude can be found using the area, that's correct? Yes. The area is half of hypotenuse times altitude, that's right. Yes, right. Well, this one is a little bit redundant. There is no reason to take the square root of it, because we know that a square is this one. That's kind of interesting way it solved the problem, because I would solve this problem in much simpler way. But finally it's right. First it was talking to Wolfram, and then there was an issue for some reason, like some unstable connection or so. And then it came up with a different solution, but this solution is correct. Although it's a little bit long. I would offer a shorter solution. But yes, it's 21 centimeter. Because here, as we know that in an isosceles triangle, altitude functions also as a median and a bisector. And if it's the median, that means that AD equals to BD here. And yes, and if AB is 42 centimeters, then AD is a half of it, is 21 centimeter. And then if we look at triangle ACD, it's bisector. Then here is 45, here is 45, here is 90. So then we end up with isosceles triangle again. So ACD is isosceles triangle, and then AD equals to CD, and CD is H, is an altitude. And in this case CD, then 21 centimeter too. So that's actually how I would solve this problem. However, I like the solution offered by Wolfram Assistant, and finally it was correct. That's the main thing. Alright, I also wanted to show you a plugin, Wolfram, as it's already obsolete, but for the sake of history I would like to show you that. And let's see how plugin Wolfram will solve this problem, because it may come up with a different way. Okay, I should find, I think this is this one with plugin. Okay, yes, that's true. So this is my old conversation with ChatGPT plugins. In the past I used WebPilot to access links and Wolfram to access Wolfram Alpha. And you see this message that GPTs will soon replace plugins. Well, they have already replaced plugins. So there is just 1 week left to enjoy your plugin conversations that you have already previously had. Okay, I will paste the problem situation here. And then let's see. Okay. Nope. No, it's wrong. I am quite surprised that plugin solved the problem in the wrong way. I would tell you one secret. Previously I have already tried to solve this problem. And actually the result was completely opposite. Wolfram Assistant didn't solve it correctly. However, plugin Wolfram solved it correctly. I can even show you this conversation with plugin before. I don't know why, and now it doesn't offer correct solution. Yeah, there we go. So this was its previous solution. Two legs are equal. Smaller right triangles, they have 45 degrees, yes. 21 is the half of hypotenuse for the smaller triangle, yes. And then this one, well, the solution was too complex anyways, because you don't have to do all these calculations. However, finally it comes up with correct answer. So H equals 21 centimeter. And I don't know why now it shows the wrong answer. That's quite curious. I will ask, but previously you solved exactly the same problem, and it was correct. Find the mistake. Okay, let's revisit the problem. In my previous response, I mistakenly identified the altitude as 21 square root 2 without It's just a nonsensical answer, really. I don't understand. But you forgot altitude is also a median and bisector. I gained the wrong answer. No, something went wrong with this plugin. Just a few days ago it was solving this problem correct, and now it's completely wrong. Okay, so from this lesson you can make an important conclusion, that please always check solutions offered by ChatGPT. They are not always could be correct. Even you see the same tool after a certain period of time can make a mistake in the same problem. And the opposite, Wolfram Assistant, which was previously wrong, in a few days came up with the correct solution. Yeah, so it's a little bit unpredictable. Just use this practical experience and remember that you need to check the information given by ChatGPT.